I hope everyone is well. It's June 29th, the first night of summer two. I don't know where this year has gone, but I can't believe it's almost July. I can't believe it's almost July 4th, the 250th year of our great country. Um, so it's a special week. And before I forget, just have a great 4th of July. Be safe. My name is Dr. Gilbert. I'm one of the criminal justice professors here at Charleston Southern University. I'm also the department chair. So I pretty much put all these schedules together, all the courses together. It's just we have an awesome, awesome team at Charleston Southern. This is the Introduction to Criminal Justice. This is probably one of my most favorite courses. I have never taught it online. I've always taught it in person. And the tough part with me is trying to merge everything in a 16 conventional week course into this. But we will get there. We will get there. There's just so many interesting things to talk about, so many great topics, so many great chapters. But we will go get through as much as we can tonight so that once you leave tonight, I hope you feel a lot better. I hope you're excited because I'm really excited. I love this course. There's just so many interesting things to talk about, read about. Seems like every time I'm looking at watching the news or pulling up an article, there's something going on in the criminal justice world. I meant to pull up an article a couple hours ago because there's a riot in a jail, so I wanted to look at that. So, hopefully everyone is fine, but there's just so many neat things going on in the criminal justice world. So, we will be working together for the next 7 weeks. The end of this course is August 16th. It is a hard stop, meaning we will be done on August 16th. All right, because that means fall semester is right around the corner. And like what I did today, I had to get all grades calculated for summer one, turn into the university, and then all of a sudden summer two starts. So it's a busy time, just like August 16th will be. All
Mhm.
right. All right. So I'm going to direct you. Hopefully you can see my screen here with the blackboard. Can you see this
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Awesome. 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 All right. So
Yeah.
awesome. Great. Great. So this is oh, well, first of all, who's on the line? I guess I didn't see my window. I know I have Victoria. Who else is on the line?
Willis Nelson.
Hey, Willis, how are you?
I'm good. Good.
Awesome. Well, very quickly, Victoria, why don't we start with you because you're on first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you plan on getting out of the course.
I'm from Glenville, Georgia. It's near Savannah, Georgia. It's about like an hour away. But
Awesome.
I this course is a part of my like major. My major is cybersecurity, but like this is the step that I needed to take for my major. And I'm in the Air Force RTC program, and I plan to become a cyber warfare officer.
Awesome. Well, good for you. That's right. I read your intro.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I have kids that are in RLTC schools as we speak right
Nice.
now. Yeah. One is at Virginia Tech. She's doing the Army ROTC. She's
Uh-huh.
going to Air Assault School next month. And
Oh,
then
nice.
then my son goes to Norwich. He's in the Air Force program up there. So yeah, awesome. Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Well, welcome. Thanks for sharing. Hi, Willis. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm from Charleston, but I reside in Bruford, South Carolina.
Okay,
I'm
great.
going to school for project management, and this course will help me learn the laws and how to be compliant in law wise.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome and welcome both of you and welcome to everyone. I know this is a very, very busy time of year before the 4th of July. People are on the road, people are traveling. I get that. That's why I have only one of these Zoom calls right at the beginning of the semester, and I record it so that if people can't make it tonight, they can review it at any point this week. Or, if you want to review this again, by all means, I will send it out in an email probably in a couple hours. So that's kind of why I like to record these and only have one Zoom. For this course, other courses I like to have multiple Zooms if there are more things, into the course that really students need to more know more about in terms of assignments and just different instructions and everything. So
Mhm.
awesome. Good, good. All right. So you're looking at the course portal. I'm sure you've seen others before. This is where everything is for this course. Basically, my background, the syllabus down here. And so let me just show you quickly your very first assignment. Well, let me back up a little bit. So we will go try to cover 2 chapters a week. Um, this is an awesome textbook, and again, I use it in my in-person class. I love the textbook. Yeah, it's a little old, but it's very, very relevant. So that's why I kept this textbook for this semester. Um, yeah, it's 2 chapters a week. It does seem like a lot, but it's very, very interesting reading. And just keep that in mind, especially when it comes for your discussions. Every week you have discussion posts, part of your grade. Just make sure you submit your discussions by Thursday, your initial by Thursday evenings by 11 o'clock. That way they'll give the rest of the class a couple days to read your post and just write a response. And I always say to my students as well, when you submit your initial post by Thursday evenings, make sure it's a well thought out, articulated post. You'll add some references or two, one or two, but just make sure you put a lot of thought into it because that's very, very important in terms of your grade. And I'm also going to add that the more in depth you get, obviously, the better grade you'll get. But you may see some of these discussions again in terms of a test. So just giving you a heads up there. All right, so that's your part of your discussion. Grade, you'll every week we'll have a discussion. Just make sure again, Thursday evenings you must submit your initial post, and then by Sunday evenings you respond to a classmate's post, or I may post a question, and in that case, make sure you respond. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So your first thing is your introduction. That's due this Sunday. The second thing that's due this Sunday is your research proposal. All right. And what this is a it's like a self it gets you kind of started in terms of a research paper. So there's really three big grades with this semester. It's your research paper, your 2 tests, and then your discussion um, grade. So all easy. If you're paying attention, if you're doing your discussion boards and putting a lot of effort, you're going to do well on your tests. And we'll go over your tests here in a minute. But your research proposal it's just my way of making sure that you are looking at a criminal justice topic that is attainable. That is something that you can research in the 7 weeks. You're not taking on a too big of a topic, too broad, too narrow. So this is what's due this Sunday. It is not graded. It's more of a guide to help me and also to help you. I will give you some feedback on your topic. So you submit it in a Word document. Your title page should be an APA. All of you should have 227 under your belt. If not, then you will shortly after this course, which is critical thinking in writing. Page 2 would be your thesis statement. All right, so you write 4 to 6 sentences. What is your topic? What position are you taking with that topic? For example, I have a lot of students that argue for the death penalty. So why are you for the death penalty? Or I have some students that are saying are against the death penalty. So your 4 to 6 sentences should be just that. The death penalty is a deterrent, blah, blah, blah. Studies show, things like that. So I know I'm going over this quickly, but that's basically what your research proposal is. And then your page 3 would be at least 3 peer-reviewed government or peer-reviewed articles, journal articles, government websites, professional journals, whatever. Whatever that you find that you think will be helpful for your research paper at the end of the semester. Will these be your same three at the end of your paper? Maybe, maybe not. But as long as I just want to make sure you're on the right page in terms of your research. You're finding some good um, websites, government websites, some peer-reviewed things like that. So when I say peer-reviewed, I would highly recommend that you use the Rivers Library to help you find some really good reference materials. So I've talked about periodicals, anything that's published, government websites like maybe from the FBI, from DEA, DHS, whatever. I would strongly advise you not to use open source articles like Washington Post, New York Times. That's not peer reviewed. That's just journalism. And I want you to get in have the mindset of using some already published material as part of your paper. You can use open source, but I'd rather you use your peer reviewed first. And then if you find a stat from Washington Post, that's fine. But just make sure you have the right amount of peer reviewed or government websites. Okay. So that is for your first assignment. Not graded, but it's very, very, I'm encouraging you to submit it on the 5th. So I know that you're on the right page. Um, and I will also give you excuse me, I also give you some extra credit if you write a couple research questions. And research questions will help you drive your research. It's like a steering wheel to a car or a rudder on a boat. Without that, you're not going to go anywhere. Your research questions will help you kind of guide your research. For example, to what extent has the southern border decreased the amount of fentanyl in the last year since President Trump has taken over? Whatever. I don't. That's a research question. That's just an example. To what extent um, has gun violence increased since whatever, since this law, whatever? So those are some good research questions that that you should think about. I will give you some extra credit for that as well as part of your research um, paper and topic and everything. I also encourage you to use the Writing Center at CSU, and they are available during the summer. And you can email them. I've given you uh, some assistance so that write to them and say, what can you help me maybe better construct this paragraph, or whatever the case may be. I will give you extra credit for using the research center at CSU. All right, so that is your research proposal and your final paper, which is due on August 16th. All right. It's 5 to 7 written pages, so it's not massive by any means. When I say written pages, I mean just that, written. It's got to be your maybe part of your introductory paragraph, your meat and potatoes, your analysis, your research, your in-text sites, which you should have right down here, 1 to 3 in-text sites, quotes or references per page. So that's all part of your 5 to 7 written pages. All right. And I get asked quite a bit, well, what if I have 10 pages? That's fine, but I want a well organized, constructed written paper. And no, your title page, your reference page does not include part of your written page. But if you submit 5 written pages, it's well organized. You have a good introductory paragraph, a great concluding paragraph, of paragraphs, then that's perfect. That's all I'm looking for. And that you use the right amount of reference materials, your peer-reviewed journals, your government websites, things like that. All right. You need to have a concluding paragraph or paragraphs to make sure that you wrap up your research nicely. Um, Perhaps you may not have found all the answers to your research questions. Well, then you put that in your concluding paragraph. All right. So that is your final paper. It is worth a lot of points, 500 points. So half of this semester is this paper. So I would highly take this serious. All right. Very, very serious. That's 500 points. But that is due by 11:59 on Sunday, August 16th. All right. and it's got to be submitted in a Word document. Make sure that you do not use APA. I'm sorry, AI. Use APA. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat here. So do not use any AI. You can use AI to find some reference materials. If you want to use certain AI tools to find me some references on the death penalty, that's fine. But do not use it as part of your writing. Do not use it as part of your editing. Anything that changes the scope of your language of your paper, it's going to get flagged. It's going to be sent to you. And this being a 7-week course, and I've had students submit their final paper literally 10 minutes before the deadline, and it was AI, it got rejected and they didn't pass the course. So make sure you do not use any AI. Word document, do not use Google Docs, but it's very, very important. And that's all I'm going to say about AI. If you have any questions, please ask. Okay, any questions about the final paper and about the research proposal that's due this Sunday?
I don't think so. I don't think I have any.
Okay, I know I'm going through rather quickly. I know you're busy, and I know that you have a very busy week coming up, but okay. All right, so let's jump to see if I can find my there it is, my syllabus. Okay. So we went over the grades. All right. So your tests, you're going to have 2 tests this semester. They are very, very easy. Meaning, if you do really well on your discussion boards, hint hint, you'll do very well on your tests. All right. When you they in they are assigned here on if you look on the last page of the syllabus, so the first one is due the week of July 20th. The second one is due the week of August 17th. You will have 1 hour to complete the test online, and you can only do in one sitting. All right. So meaning if you are tired 45 minutes into it, you only got 15 minutes left. You got to keep going. All right. The more you write, the more reference material that you use, the more you articulate your answers, the better you will do on these tests. All right. I will give you that hint. All right. So let's go back. So we talked about research paper, talked about discussion boards. All right. So that's a total of 1,000 points. So again, the toughest challenge for me putting this course together was cramming everything into 7 weeks because I absolutely love this course. So we will do everything we can. I will work with you. Okay. Do I expect you to read every single page in these chapters? No. But you should have a very, very good idea what the authors are talking about when it comes to the crime and problem of social control or the role of the courts or issues in policing. You should have a very, very good idea, a very good perspectives. Okay. Again, the better job you do with your discussion boards that week, that means the better job that you will have, better opportunity you have with your on your tests as well. Okay. All right. Um, I'm just looking at my notes right now. Going back to the board course. Any questions so far?
On the research questions, do we add?
Yes.
We're going to add that to our research proposal, correct?
Yes, you could do that, and that's a very good question. And I don't care where you add them, Willis, just make sure you add them somewhere, and I will give you extra credit on your research paper. So I usually give like 5 points, 5 extra points. Very good
Yeah.
question. All right. And then also if you are stuck um, with trying to find a good topic. I've also put here a criminal justice themed topics worksheet as well. All right. You don't have to pick a theme from this criminal justice document, But there's a bunch of good topics that I highly recommend that you look into. Again, you pick one topic, you submit your research proposal by this Sunday. I will approve it or I'll make suggestions, and then you just keep writing for the rest of the semester. I know it's only 7 weeks, but these are some good examples that you can use as well for different topics. So yeah, just use this, and if you find one topic, great. If you already have one in mind, then even better. All right. And I also like to give my students a good APA guide to use. This is a perfectly formatted APA paper. And obviously, this is what I wrote. It's not true stuff, but although I'm a big baseball fan, I'm a big Yankee fan. So this is what your title page should look like. And by all means, you can download this. You can change this and put your own title, and then your name. And then the school, Department of Criminal Justice, Charleston Southern University, the course code, the name, Introduction to Criminal Justice, and then your name, and then your date of submission. All right. So yeah, feel free to use this document to create your own research proposal and your own title page for your paper. And then this is what your thesis statement should look like. All right, for your research proposal that's due this weekend. And also, this will be page 2 for your final paper. All right. So again, a thesis statement is 4 to 6 sentences of what you think of the particular topic, how you're going about arguing your topic about the death penalty. Maybe you're against the death penalty. Maybe you're for gun control, too many shootings. So this is what your thesis statement should look like. Okay, then you get into your page 3 should be the main start of your paper, your introductory paragraph, things like that. Okay, again, use this as a model. I like to show this to all my students in all my classes, including the reference page at the end. This is what your reference page should look like. References at the top, not works cited. References, your sources should be in alphabetical order. All right, double space, and then the second line should be indented. All right, so this is a perfectly formatted reference page for your use. Okay. Okay. Questions?
I don't think I have any. I think you
Okay.
answered them all.
All right. And then here's some PowerPoints that you can use as well. So use these to supplement. I developed these PowerPoints myself. Yeah, they're from the spring, but they are still very, very useful in terms of what we talked about in my spring class. So use these for your use as well, in addition to the readings. All right. But again, if you need any help whatsoever, go to this course resources, and then you can make a library appointment. If you need help trying to find a book, or you're having a tough time trying to find some good reference material, set up an appointment. In addition to using the Writing Center, and I'll give you extra credit for using the Writing Center. All right. I am going through my notes right now to see if I missed anything. And of course, everything is on the syllabus. I didn't want to read over everything tonight, but just make sure you log in by next Monday in order to be dropped from the course. That has happened. We need all students to log in at least by July 6th, next Monday, and they need to do something academically, meaning answer their introductory post, a discussion post, or submit a research proposal. So that is all. Those are all examples of an academic type of category to keep you in the course. All right. And feel free to email me anytime or set up an appointment. There's only a couple times where I'm not going to be available, and one is July 4th. I'm helping out down at Patriots Point with fireworks, and then I'm going to be out of town the following weekend. Other than that, I will be around and happy to help out. If you want to have another Zoom, by all means, send me a Zoom individually or as a class. Definitely help you with that. But I think that's all I have in terms of looking at my notes and for tonight. And just pay attention to all the different writing sources as well that I put either on the course or on the syllabus, including the email address for the Writing Center to get extra help with your writing. Okay. And then
Okay.
also pay attention to the end of the syllabus with a course schedule. And I am very proactive. I like to send out course announcements every week. So you'll see maybe on a Monday, oh, this is what we're doing for this week. I know I sent out a huge introductory email. It's a lot of information. I get it. But I'd rather have my students have all the information than not having any at all. So that's kind of why I like to send out emails, especially on Mondays. You know, hey, we're going to be doing these chapters this week. Expect, test one is coming up this week, things like that. So expect to see some emails from me. All right. Okay. Any questions? Anything I can answer? Any other or anything that didn't make sense?
No, it makes sense.
Okay. Great. Great. Okay, well, I tell you what, I'm going to stay on the line for a couple more minutes. So if you want to meet with me individually or you have a question, whatever the case may be. If not, then yeah, have a great night, have a great semester, and let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. And I'm looking forward to working with you and have a great night.
Thank
Thank
you. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
fourth.
Yeah, have a great fourth
you.
and be safe, everyone. Be
Thank
Oh,
you.
safe. All
thank
right.
you.
All right, take care. Bye now.
Bye-bye.